You are now listening to Regular Guys Podcast. Hey guys, I got a joke for you. How do you get a country girl's attention?
How?
A
Oh.
tractor. And just like that, people, we welcome you to Regular Guys. A little dad joke humor to start us off. I am your host, Matty Ice, back again for another week of Regular Guys podcast. We have Jake here. We also have a good guy guest from Jason. Obviously, you guys have seen Jason. I want to say, was it episode 4? Episode 4, Jason was on. But guys, Jake, how you guys doing today on this Good Friday evening?
Can't complain, man. Super happy to be back. We had a pretty good show today. I was pretty stoked that I actually have Jason here today because you'll see when we get into the NFL discussion. I needed somebody that was going
Yep.
to take care of my team. All right.
There you
I
go.
needed somebody that was going to.
Yeah,
Matt
man.
was reaching out to people. I was like, do not get me a scrub. All right. I need them to put some respect on my team. So I'm
Yeah,
super
man.
happy Jason's here.
Thank
You
you.
got
Yeah,
that
Thank
go.
you.
Jason, tell the people, what's going on, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, you guys. I'm glad to be back on the show again. And like what Jacob was saying, talking about our team, the New York Giants. So we can't wait to go into it and talk sports and definitely just chat it up for sure. So thank you guys
Yeah,
for having me back again.
yeah, no problem, and thank you for coming back. We have a really good show planned for you guys this week. Our NFL theme and NBA theme for this week is overrated players. So before we dive into that, already start thinking in your minds, as far as the NFL, who do you feel is overrated? Obviously, we will give our takes on who we feel is overrated, and we are continuing on with our breaking down of division by division each and every week. That is why Jason is here. Jason is a New York Giants fan, along with Jake. So we are going to be breaking down the NFC East team by team, um, and then moving on to the NBA, continuing on with our theme of overrated players, as well as taking a look into the finals. Last time we talked to you guys, it was a different story. Obviously, things have changed. And just kind of going off topic too, we want to touch a little bit on the USA basketball team and as well as Damian Lillard. Is he on the move? And of course, ending it off with your favorite and our favorite, the hype. But, gentlemen, I don't want to keep talking too long. I feel like we're about to get a little spicy. Now, this is an ongoing thing. We don't go over who we are going to choose because I feel like there's really no fun in that. I feel like there's a surprise factor when, we talk about it, we bring up each other's, theme or who we chose, whatever the case is, just to get that real, authentic reaction. So that's what we have decided to do. NFL overrated players. You know what? We're going to let our guest go first. Jason, hit us with your overrated player in the NFL.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to go first. I was thinking since we were talking about the NFC East, we got to go with the Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. He's over.
Oh,
Ladies and
Yep,
gentlemen, I told you we were going to get spicy, and it started
oof!
really
It
fast.
got hot in here. Oof.
real hot.
Okay,
Look, listen,
okay. You know what? Go
listen.
ahead. Please explain.
Yeah, listen. So Ezekiel Elliott, yeah, he had a great rookie season, and anybody can argue that he had uh one of the best rookie seasons of all time. But after that, it just went into a decline. He was injuries are popping up. He wasn't performing in games that they needed him to perform in, and ultimately, being a vital piece in the organization on offense, he wasn't stepping up, and um, so there's games where you expect him to rush for 100, 150 yards because he's done it before, um, and he doesn't show up at all. And so I feel like he's really underrated. I mean, overrated. Um, because he hasn't been showing up. Last season he wasn't showing up. It ultimately, the Cowboys went 4-11. I mean, it wasn't all his fault. I know Dak Prescott went down with that horrific injury, but you know, he was MIA. So we'll see how he performs this year, this season. But I don't have high hopes for him, and plus I don't like the Cowboys, so I mean I could care less. But but yeah, well, all jokes aside, and and just to hate on the Cowboys, he's a great player. I'm not gonna lie, he's a great player. Came out of Ohio State, played lights out at Ohio State. But so I mean, in order for him to really have the career that he wants, he has to focus. He needs to put in the work because that's another thing too. He wasn't focused as well the past couple seasons. I don't know if it's endorsement deals that he got, and all these commercials that he was showing up, and you know that can happen. But he needs that focus. He needs that drive again if he wants to have a really solid season, and also to help his team get out of that funk of 4-11 and maybe turn to 11-4, which is
Yeah.
not gonna happen. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's
so
safe to
yeah.
say that you feel Zeke got paid and got comfortable, as we
Yeah.
see many of our NFL superstars, stars, kind of do. You know what? I'm going to agree with you on that one. I honestly, I didn't really think of Zeke, to be honest with you, but it is safe to say at this point in time, he does deserve the overrated stamp. Now, fantasy owners may not want to hear this, but for the longest, I've heard several things of, well, I mean, Zeke's only good because of offensive line. So the offensive line gets hurt a lot last
Hmm.
year. Then that goes down. Now you think, okay, if Zeke is the real deal, this is the time to prove it. Now don't get me, don't I don't want to hear the whole thing of, I mean, I get it, like his offensive line was hurt, blah blah blah. But it's like, let's think about the offensive lines like Adrian Peterson had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like who were
Barry
they?
Barry Sanders.
Yeah,
Like
like who
Barry
were
Sanders,
those
you wanna go?
guys? Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's not to say that it can't be done, because it can. So I like that. I like that. Jake, you got anything to add to that?
Oh, I love it. I mean, as not liking the Cowboys, I'll say the entire team is overrated. I mean, they haven't been good since the '90s, but
Oh
I
man.
mean, the Giants have owned that division. Let's say that they're the most relevant team in the past 25 years. But
Yep.
that's a whole other story for something else. But I think it's true. He got paid. He got comfortable.
Hmm.
And like Matt said, all right, if you're only good for the old line, then when Dak goes down, everyone's like, well, they have Zeke. He'll take over. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
And this is 2 seasons back to back that we've seen a mediocre Zeke. So it's like, all right, hopefully this year with everyone back healthy, let's see what happens. But I think it's this year show up. If not, that's going to be a contract that Jerry Jones regrets big time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Jake, while you have the floor, go ahead and man and hit us with your overrated player in the NFL.
So I'm stuck between three guys. One of them is on my Giants team that I really want to rip because I just feel like it's bad. But I'm gonna go with a fun one, which is Juju Smith Schuster.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
Mr. Corvette.
yes,
Okay.
I think he's extremely overrated. And the reason is in 2018, which was also Antonio Brown's last season, Juju had his best season. He had 111 receptions, 1,426 yards, 7 touchdowns. So everyone's like, oh, this dude's going to break out. If they re sign Antonio Brown, you could probably extend Big Ben's career another 5 seasons because he has two great players. AB walks. Oh, that's okay. They got Juju. He had a great season. 2019, 552 yards,
Hmm.
42 receptions, and only 3 touchdowns. Granted, he played 12 games. He missed 4. He was hurt. So you're like, okay, fine. He was hurt. Maybe he was hurt a little bit during those 12 games. He had a rough season. Let's see what happens the next season. So last year, played 14 games, 831 yards, still couldn't crack 1,000 yards. And Big Ben was healthy. That O line
Hmm.
was healthy. And he couldn't get 1,000 yards. He had a lot of touchdowns. He had 97 receptions. His touchdowns were 9, so he had the highest touchdowns. But his yards per reception went down to single digits,
Hmm.
8.6. He was averaging between 11 and 14 yards per reception, and it dropped all the way to 8. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Like that's a matter of first down, not first down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see Juju being a slot guy. I don't think he's going to be a number one guy. It's 2 years in a row. We haven't seen it. I think it's Claypool's team as a number one receiver
Yeah.
for that.
I don't, and I agree again on the overrated. He definitely deserves the overrated stamp. And I think we saw that by his market and the fact that he came back on a 1 year. I think it was only like 6 mil, 8 mil. I mean, it really wasn't
Yeah.
that big of a contract. Granted, we saw a lot of receivers sign a 1 year prove it deal, but it's safe to say my guy downloaded TikTok and the rest was history. The
Z got
antics,
paid, and
yeah,
Juju got TikTok.
Juju got TikTok and went downhill. The rest was history.
Hmm.
And it's not to say that I'm not a big fan of the antics. I mean, one of my favorite receivers of all time is Ocho Cinco, who's quite known for the antics. But you have to put up after you do it. It's
That's
almost
the
Hmm.
thing. Yeah.
you're trash
Hmm.
talking in a way. So, which I love, but if you're not producing, then it's like, okay, now you're just putting a target on yourself.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. Um, I do feel it's more of Chase Claypool's team as far as the lead guy. Um, some would even say the other. I can't remember his name.
You have James Washington, and then you have Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson. Some would say that Deontay Johnson's maybe the number two.
Hmm.
But this is a big year for Juju.
And Claypool's a
Um,
bigger dude too.
yeah,
Like he
bigger
can.
dude and faster. I mean, I think he ran like a 4.4 something for his
And
size.
the thing is that you would think that with Claypool causing double coverage on himself, that it will free up Juju for him to get his yards up, his catches up, his touchdowns up. It didn't produce anything. And the thing about it's funny because I followed Juju's page on YouTube, and I've been seeing the stuff he's been doing. There's a lot that he's doing that's distracting him because he does hang out with
Oh
like a
yeah,
few guys back in
Yeah,
LA where he's from. And so it's just like, yo, man, I know you're young, I know you want to have fun, but also, man, this is your career, man. This is
yeah,
like what goal did you put in yourself when you became a football player? Like, did you want to be the best receiver in the game? Do you want to win a championship? Like, you had this in your mind that you were going to the league to be the best that you can be day in day out. And I agree with you, Jacob, man. Like, he is overrated at this moment. And
yeah.
I just hope that he cleans up his act. And you know what, the other thing too, um I watched him since USC, and he was a great player, great wide receiver. His breakout speed is not there anymore. Like
Mm-mm.
he's not
yeah,
fast. It's gone, you know. And that's the thing that's probably also is hurting him too, because
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
If you can't
So
separate, it's gonna be real hard to get open.
yeah.
yeah,
So I have two
yeah,
honorable
definitely.
mentions, but I'm gonna wait till Matt goes to see if he has the same ones, or unless he wants me to go over it real quick. But
You can go ahead and do yours. I only have the one. He's standing right behind me.
okay, so the two guys that I was thinking about besides Juju was Bud Dupree from the Titans
Oh yeah,
and Evan Ingram from the Giants.
oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the reason
That's
for
good.
Bud Dupree, you would think, okay, if I'm playing behind T.J. Watt, Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, I'm gonna eat. He only had one season with double-digit sacks, and that was
That was like,
2019.
yeah,
And then Evan Ingram every offseason, this is the breakout season. This is the breakout season.
yeah.
Last year, he dropped 11 passes, which is the most among tight ends. One of the
Hmm.
passes that he dropped would have given the Giants the division,
Sheesh.
which was a game against the Eagles. So those were the two guys that I was thinking about. I went Juju just to keep it because I know he's very popular. So
Yeah,
I picked
yeah.
Juju.
So far, honestly, I feel like all of our overrated guys are pretty good. Even the honorable mentions, Bud Dupree. Yeah, definitely, I agree there. Tennessee Titan fans got super happy when they got him. It was like, bro, one, he tore his ACL.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Two, he was on the other side of TJ Watt, who constantly saw double teams, and yet he rarely put up. He's been in the league how long? And you think he's just gonna come in there and save your defense line? Get out of here,
Exactly. After an ACL.
bro. Right. So
Yeah.
you haven't seen by now who my overrated guy is. The guy standing behind me, Jamal Adams. Jamal,
It's a good pick. That's a good pick. Yeah.
look, Jamal. I know you're listening right now, man. I don't want to dig into you real, super bad. But you were supposed to go to the Seattle Seahawks and kind of restart the Legion of Boom. And let's just kind of look into what you had to show for it. Now, although some might want to look at this 9.5 stat line of sacks as a bright spot, yes, tremendous, but you are a safety. Yes, again, it is still great, but again, you are a safety. For those of you listening, Jamal Adams has played in the league for 4 years, three with the Jets, one with the Seahawks, and has accumulated just 2 picks.
That's pretty bad.
Just 2 picks. In my eyes, you are a glorified linebacker. You are great on Madden, don't get me wrong. You will light up somebody and make them fumble. And I'm almost sure your coverage in Madden is probably a lot better than in real life. In my eyes, you are a liability. If I am offenses, I want my best player on you, kind of like NBA, you're setting screens to get to your final match. Obviously it doesn't necessarily work like that all the time with the NFL, but if I see you're in the box, I want to try to motion my guy, my quickest receiver, tight end, because I know you're just not going to be that guy. Now, for those of you who are listening, you're probably saying, well, he's a strong safety. Yeah, they're going to kind of play the box. That's really no excuse. I mean, look at Tyrann Mathieu, strong safety, still gets picks, still plays the box. We can go as far as back as Brian Dawkins, as we were talking about a couple weeks ago, who I felt was just more of a hitter. PJ obviously showed me where he stood as far as interceptions go. So it's probably a reason you know, you haven't gotten the bag yet. I know me and Jake kind of talked about this a little bit off air throughout the week. But yeah, as I was going through this and thinking, I was like, let me really look at somebody who I really feel is overrated, and not just who everyone else says is overrated, but actually puts up. Jamal Adams, you received that stamp of overrated. Now look, Jamal, although you might look good behind me right now, bro, don't come, DMing me and whatnot, talking trash. I'll trade for you in Madden. I just don't know if I could trade for you in real life. So that's all I gotta say. You guys can be free. Feel free to let me know how you feel.
Um, I will say so not if people don't know, I root for the Jets and the Giants, but when they play together, I go for the Giants. Giants are number one, but when Jets are on their own, so I thought that Joe Douglas probably made one of the best transactions that I've witnessed when he traded away Jamal Adams. We still had draft picks this season that we used, and we got Elijah Moore in the second round because of this trade with Jamal Adams. And Jamal, like you said, 2 picks in 4 seasons. Yeah, he's a strong safety, but Cam Chancellor, who probably played about the same that he did, had
Yeah.
12 picks in his career. And that, if you want to talk about a hard hitter like Jamal Adams is,
Yeah.
Cam Chancellor probably hit harder than Jamal Adams.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
And he
Yes.
had 12 picks. Jamal Adams, super overrated. He's still wondering why he hasn't gotten paid. And that's probably why.
Yeah, and again, man, it's not like the stats aren't great. I look at his best season, 2018, played all 16 games, had 1 pick, just 1 pick. Passes defended, he had 12, caused 3 forced fumbles, had 3.5 sacks. Total combined tackles, he had 115. Again, this is great if you are a linebacker.
Yeah, that's linebacker numbers right
This
there.
is
That's
linebacker
linebacker
stats,
numbers.
Jamal.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's a like Matt said, he's a glorified linebacker.
So if you're going
He's
to
Yeah.
make the
he's Bobby
switch,
Wagner, who's faster. That's all he is.
if you're going to make the switch, I will gladly take the overrated off. because these are great linebacker stats. Whether you're off ball, middle linebacker, saying whatever the case is, yeah, these are great stats. But man, you're a strong safety. I'm not even saying you have to have like 20, interceptions. If you would have told me he was at least close to double digit in 4 years, then I would have taken it off. But it's like two, bro, in four
At least
years.
get one a pick a year. At least one.
At
Exactly.
least, at least one pick a year. At least one. But this, like, man, you can't do that.
And if you want to talk about just because he's a safety, you have Minka Fitzpatrick. He's
Oh
probably one of
man.
the best coverage safeties,
Yeah,
but he'll still light you up if he gets a good shot. Derwin James is also one that's really good in coverage, but will also light you up if he has to. And Tyrann Mathieu, like you said, those guys are considered in the same tier as Jamal Adams, but man, they can cover. They'll
Mhm.
shut their deep path completely down. Anyone that's on their side, they shut down.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I agree with that because the thing about the safety position, that position is the ball hawk position. Like they're the ones that are the quarterback on the defense. Like they're watching everything. They see routes. They see when to break after the receiver if it gets past their CB, or when the running back is past the linebacker. So they're the ones that are the ball hawks at the end of the day. Like they watch when that ball's in the air. And I mean, like you guys mentioned, Minka and Tyron. In the modern day, and you look in the past, you got Ed Reed is arguably the best ball hawk safety of all time, and he just
yeah,
sits back there and just watches. And he
yeah,
he'll
man.
lay a lick too if he needs to. You
Yeah.
know.
So that's who we have as our overrated players for the NFL. You guys let us know if you agree. Also, let us know down in the comments. Obviously, we could be missing other people. There could be people who you feel deserve to be on this list who have to prove it this year. So you guys let us know down in the comments who you feel deserves the overrated stamp of approval. But moving on to personally my favorite segment, probably Jake's favorite segment too. We love this so much because football season is right around the corner. And man, we couldn't be any happier. Um, our division breakdown of this week, we are taking a look into the NFC East, where the Washington football team came out of that division. Was pretty. It was a pretty close division all the way up into the final week. Unfortunately, could have been even more close and competitive had Dak not got hurt. One can only imagine what could have transpired, but um, unfortunately, he did, and of course, we saw the Cowboys. Also, although still kind of stay competitive at that 6-10, tied with the Cowboys, and obviously the Fly Eagles Fly bottom feeders. So to start off, we are going to start with the Washington football team, and just to kind of reiterate, what are the key things we are breaking down? We will start off with team weakness, move into the team strength, player on the hot seat, and we'll look into player we're most excited for and the team record. Now, I have the privilege of breaking down the Washington football team. All right, so we're going to start with our team weakness. I'm labeling this team weakness for now because one, I don't know what I'm going to get in Taylor Heineke if he does start. I also don't know which Fitzpatrick is going to show up. So for me, team weakness for the Washington football team, which disclaimer granted, apparently next year they're supposed to come out with a new team name. Thank goodness, because Washington football team is not it. And a new logo. So hey, good for them. I'm going to go team weakness quarterback. This is one of the teams where you hear the phrase a quarterback away from being a championship contender. This is them. If Fitzpatrick can be Dolphins good this past season, I felt like Fitzpatrick was pretty solid. I'm not going to say great, but he was pretty solid. Or if he could be Jets good, like he was that one year, or even Bucks good, yes, this team will definitely win the division again and maybe then some. But if Fitzpatrick shows us Bills him, then I'm not too sure. So because there's just so much uncertainty, yes, Taylor Heineke in my eyes deserves to start and showed that against a very good Bucks team that we saw go on to win the championship. He put them to the test. It is one game. They didn't know what to prepare for. There was really no film on you. So it could say, yeah, you caught them by surprise, but the Bucks being the better team reign, supreme. So um that's what I have as my team weakness. Team strength. This is an obvious one. It's the defensive line. Chase Young, Matt Ioannidis, Sweat on the other side. There's some two other guys playing, D tack. Like it's just so stacked. You want speed, they got speed. You want power, they got power. You want to be able to stop the run, they can do that. You want to get to the quarterback, they can do that too. And the fact that you have Sweat and Young on the opposing sides, and it's not like they both just stay on one side. They're constantly flipping, which is good for for their defense. So to me, that's a no-brainer. Team strength, defensive line, player on the hot seat. I'm going to go Riverboat Ron Rivera. Now I say this because this is I couldn't really say quarterback is hot, on the hot seat because I mean they're backups. These guys didn't sign long year contracts. It's a 1 year deal for Taylor and Fitzpatrick. So I can't really say them. There's really not anything. McLaurin has been great for you. I can't really pinpoint there. Gibson is coming into his own. I hope he can stay healthy. So I'm just going to go with Ron Rivera because I feel like this team kind of mirrors that Panthers team. Maybe that won the Super Bowl. This one might be better in the receiver area, obviously with Curtis Samuel and Scary Terry. But yeah, this is on you, Ron. I feel like this might potentially be the best team you have put together. Or when you say put together, this is kind of the pieces were already there, so to speak. But I feel like you're on the hot seat, especially after winning the division. The target is now on your back to repeat. So let's see what you can do. Player I'm most excited for is the guy standing right behind me, Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel came from the uh, Panthers. Obviously, they had a stacked receiver room, um, and was kind of a guy lost in the mix. CMC went down, McCaffrey went down, and he kind of shined more. But the fact that you had to have a elite running back to go down for you to step up kind of is a little worrisome. So the fact that you're basically now the number two, obviously Scary Terry is the number one receiver. I'm really excited to see what you do. Um, for those of you listening, chat don't take them in fancy. But anyway, team record. I don't think they repeat as division champs, but I am going to say 10-7. I do feel this potentially can be, if the pieces fall right, mainly with the Eagles, the second best conference or division in football. And my two key wins that I have for the Washington football team is I have them beating the Tampa Bay Bucks. I have them beating the New Orleans Saints. All right. Now my two key losses, I have them obviously losing to Kansas City, just way too much firepower there. You can't match them blow for blow. And I also have them losing to Green Bay in Green Bay. So that's what I have. Washington football team fans, let me know what you think down in the comments. Obviously, you guys are drinking the Kool-Aid. I think we all are. We love what you guys are building there. But moving on to the New York Giants, we will let Mr. Jason take it away.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. So first and foremost, Giants went 6-10 last year. It wasn't a good season at all. We had a lot of trouble on both sides of the ball, defense, offense. I mean, it wasn't doing pretty well. Our defense played a little bit better than our offense. So this year, there's been a lot of free agent signings. Um, just a few notable ones that I think is going to really beef up this defense. Actually, let's start with the defense. Reggie Ragland and Jackson. So those are great pickups. I know they didn't do well in their other teams, but I feel like with a team that don't have a true star on either sides of the ball, and you come in a position like that, I feel like with their experience and also their leadership, they can help this defense do pretty well. Reggie Ragland, a really amazing linebacker, and Dory Jackson, who's a ball hawk as a corner. I think it's really going to help out this defense a lot, and definitely, hopefully, their turnover ratio helps the Giants, win some games that are decisive down to the end in the fourth quarter. Um, we did pick up some great players on offense as well in the free agency. We did pick up a great tight end, Kevin Phillips, which is a great pickup because, like what Jacob was talking about, Ingram has not been performing well for us at all. So we had to get a tight end out there just to cover our bases. And I mean, I have faith in our quarterback. He's young. He definitely was putting his team on his back. He did a lot for the team, and I expect him to come out firing. I know he's not even in anybody's top five or even top 10, but I feel like he's gonna have like
Top
that
15
quiet, huh?
or top 15. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right,
Or maybe top 20. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
but
okay, okay, okay.
all right.
Top
Relax, man.
25, maybe. Yeah, you know.
Oh no, no,
Relax.
no, no, no! You're going too far there. You're going too far.
Relax.
But
But
but I feel like he's gonna have. I feel like he's gonna have a
yeah,
quiet big season. I mean, yeah, Saquon Barkley coming back. I was
yeah,
actually looking at his Instagram the other day, and this man's working hard.
bro, his
He's
legs got bigger.
determined. Oh my God, yeah, it's
How's that
crazy.
possible?
I don't even
But
know, man.
give
Yeah,
us a team weakness you feel is still out there going into the season.
O line. The O line is the weakness.
Okay,
The O line is definitely the weakness. I feel like I think they did pick up a couple of O line. I think they pick up a center and another person on the O line in the off season, but that's the weakest link right now.
okay.
We just need more chances on offense to score
Hmm.
because we did not score at all that much last season. So, but our strengths, I say the strength would be our strength would be the defense. I mean, they pick up some notable players on defense, and I'll say the running game too, because we got Saquon. Saquon's back. You know, you can't root against him. He's a playmaker, and I expect him, to have a comeback season, to really show that he is an elite back. So those are the strengths right there. Um, what else?
What about a player on the hot seat going into the season?
Hmm,
I have one, but I want to see who you got.
yeah, I'll say our quarterback. Our
All right,
quarterback's on the
yeah,
hot
we're
seat.
in top
Yeah,
25.
he's on
But
the hot
yeah,
seat. Yeah. Yeah. He's on the hot seat. He really is on the hot seat. I mean, again, like I believe he's gonna have a quiet big season and he needs it in order to keep moving.
yeah,
So yeah. But as far as record goes, I mean I don't think we have a losing season, but I think we're gonna go maybe 10-7 or 11-6. My hopes are up, but you got to defend your team at all costs, man. So 11
yeah.
6, 11 7. Notable wins will be in our division. And what I mean in our division, winning against Washington, Dallas, and Philadelphia. We're not losing those games. I don't care. We're winning the division. We're going out. We're not losing to none of the teams. The only team that might
Oh,
give
so
us
you saying
problems
you're
in our
going
division.
6-0? Are you going 6-0? Or are you
Yeah.
splitting?
Well, I'll go 4-2. No, no. You know
Okay,
what? Yeah, 4-2. I think we're gonna the team that's gonna give us the most problems out of this whole division. Actually, two of them. Dallas, they're having, they're gonna bring it, and then Philadelphia. Philadelphia got a
what?
young team. Um,
What about my guy right here? You don't think Washington's gonna with the
I don't know.
Curtis Samuel? Curtis, bro, talk to this guy. Look at this. Look at this. You
I
see the
don't
look on the
know.
Curtis' face right now? He can't even believe that right now, bro.
I don't
Uh,
know, but I would say I mean Washington is a stronger team than Dallas. I'll give that. I'll
defensively,
definitely give
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, defensively, yes, yeah.
So what about a player
So
you're most excited for to kind of end off with the Giants going into the
Saquon,
season? Saquon.
Saquon,
Same.
yeah, yeah.
It's on my fantasy team. So Jake, I'm gonna ask you just two of these because I know you're chomping at the bit, man, to get here. So just kind of give me, I'll let you give me a player you're most excited for, and then give me a team record.
So player I'm excited for, I'm gonna go Saquon also. He has a lot to prove.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right after
yeah.
he got hurt, everyone said his career is over. He's not gonna be the same.
yeah.
The Giants
Might have
wasted a
given the
second
overrated
pick.
tag also.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not, but I'm saying some might have.
no.
Mhm.
And the only reason that I would say that is because Saquon still hasn't had the time to develop his own game.
Yeah,
That's very
he's
true.
not he's not one to rush in between the line. He'll rush outside, but you don't really see him attack the O line and just go straight through.
hmm
Obviously, the O line doesn't create the holes for him to run through.
so he's kind of has to
Yeah, but he
improvise.
hasn't developed his
Yeah,
own form of running where okay, I can run right through. Let me try to break some tackles, be more of a power back. He never got the chance to, and I felt like that was going to happen a little bit more last season. Then he got hurt. But I'm excited for him. And then record, I'm gonna go conservative, like what I did with the Jets last week. I'm gonna go 10-7. The only reason because the quarterback. I love Daniel Jones, you know I do, but his touchdowns went down from 24, which was his rookie season, to 11 last year.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah.
But granted, his fumbles went from 18 to 11. So he's
oof.
getting better at controlling the ball.
Yeah, still in double digits, but yeah,
But I mean,
Ugh,
who
yeah,
who was protecting him? Andrew Thomas was a freaking revolving door. Like
yeah,
players would just push him, and he's just there spinning and letting defenders just run past him. Like
yeah.
there's no,
Especially
he
left
had no
tackle.
one to protect him.
It's pretty hard
So
position to play. I will say that your defense definitely I feel caught everybody off guard last year. And then the
Yeah.
fact that you added Adoree Jackson, this is definitely the year for Daniel Jones. So if I had to choose for a play on the hot seat, it's definitely him for me because there's none of this. The only thing that you can probably say is just offensive line. But as far as from a receiver or as far as from a weapon standpoint, there ain't none of this. Not that he was complaining that he didn't have weapons, but when you have, Kenny Galladay, you have, Sterling Shepard, you
well,
drafted.
Sterling Shepard only plays like 4 games a season because he always gets like 5 concussions a year.
That's true,
But
but then you drafted the human joystick out of the University of Florida, Kadarius Toney.
I didn't like that pick.
You didn't like it, but
Actually,
you will grow
I
to
actually
love
like.
him. I will tell you that
I
much.
feel
Yeah,
like
I
they
actually.
should have stayed and grabbed Parsons.
No, but you know what?
Wasn't he
But you know what?
gone?
Actually,
Parsons was gone.
Was he
yeah.
at their
Yeah,
pick?
he went to the Cowboys at
But you know what?
11.
But you know what? I actually like that pick. I actually like that pick. Because that's gonna free up Barkley. They're
Yeah,
gonna use.
True.
They're gonna use them. Yeah, a lot. So
I mean, I
yeah,
hope it works, obviously, but
yeah. Same. And then you have I can't remember his name. Who's on my fantasy team out of Auburn? Slayton. Yes,
mhm.
I think
Slayton.
he's gonna
So
be better than people realize.
yeah, so you have a whole arsenal to use, and then
And
of
Kyle
course,
Rudolph too.
yeah,
They
Kyle
signed him,
Rudolph,
which is a solid tight end veteran. That
and then you have Quad King coming back, who I hope takes off for my fantasy team's sake. So. But moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this is the team where we will both, or all three of us, will break down together. So we'll start with team weakness. Jake, give me a team weakness for the Cowboys.
so this one was I was on the fence with this one. It
Where do
was
you start?
exactly like
Oh,
where we can spend like another hour just talking about their weaknesses if you want. But it's either gonna be defensive back like the secondary or tight end because they haven't been good at tight end since Jason Witten left. But I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go secondary because I feel like you have enough offensive weapons to put a band-aid over the tight end spot. And their tight ends mostly probably using as a blocking system just because of
Mm,
how strong their offensive line is. So I'm gonna go defensive like secondary. Just and I know they're young. They've been trying to fix it. So you're still really young. You're not that experienced there. But how long are we going to use that as an excuse? You're in the
yeah,
pros. You're here for a reason. You got drafted for a reason.
yeah,
Start getting better. Show up. And I mean, look at the quarterbacks they have to deal with. That secondary should be eating. All these
Mm-hmm.
secondaries should in this division.
yeah,
So I'm going to put that as a weakness. I feel like that's what's holding them back because when you have Dak Prescott almost throwing 5,000 yards every season,
yeah.
he shouldn't be on the field as much as he is. And that's because the secondary won't shut down these offenses.
Now, tell us a team strength for the Cowboys, America's team,
I'm
not
gonna
my
go
team.
Dak Prescott. I think that's the he's if you want to ever talk underrated, I think he's on that list for underrated. Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
I mean this man is putting up crazy numbers. Like granted, he throws a lot of picks, but he's putting the team on his back.
yeah,
He's not afraid to throw the ball. A pick doesn't bother him. A pick to him is just, I just gotta throw a little bit better. Like it doesn't phase him. It's just, oh, whatever. Let me just go back out there. I'm still gonna launch it.
yeah.
He's a guy that's carrying that offense. He makes it. They gave him a bunch of weapons, and he's taking advantage of it. Everyone's like, oh, how are they all gonna eat? It's
He
working.
makes it
They
work.
all
Yeah,
eat.
he makes it
So
work.
yeah, I go
And
Dak.
that's a good pick. Now, Jason, give us a player on the hot seat.
On the hot seat,
I feel
the
like it's your.
overrated player.
Yeah, I was
The
gonna say I
overrated
feel like it's
player.
your overrated guy. I
Yep,
feel
Ezekiel
like it's your
Elliott.
overrated guy.
Definitely. Yeah, he has to prove, he has to show up,
Yeah,
I know Dak is gonna, show up. The receivers, you got Mark Cooper and you know, CD Lamb.
hmm,
But it's Ezekiel that needs to step up that running game for sure.
yeah. That's a good pick. Player that I'm most excited for is definitely got to be Dak. Coming back from the injury, also getting paid, 4 year, $160 million deal.
About
Um,
time.
Yeah.
yeah, about time. 126 of that is, guaranteed. So you got the paycheck. You're coming back from injury. They showed they we all saw how much and how important you are to that organization, where they went after you unfortunately got hurt. The Red Rifle, Andy Dalton was not it. Danucci was not it. I probably could have did better than Danucci, but um, I'm really excited to see him. I want to see if he can, kind of pick off where he left off. Obviously, fantasy owners everywhere. If PJ was here, he would let you know the guy was just on fire. Was a man on a mission. Again, I'm not saying they win the division because their secondary, as Jake alluded to, being a weakness, was constantly getting torched. Um, although I honestly feel like I don't think the secondary is bad because they can't play. I feel like they were in a lot of the right positions, just didn't make plays on the ball.
Yeah, I feel like that's just experience. That's
Yeah,
all it
so
is.
hopefully Trayvon Diggs and company, the brother of Stephon Diggs, can get it together. So that's a guy who I'm excited for. Team record. You guys might not like this. I have the Cowboys winning the division.
Oh, shut up. I'm sorry,
Whoa,
I had to
whoa.
say that. That's
That's
what is
This man
insane.
wrong
talk.
with
You
you?
see,
That's
Dak. You see this
insane.
guy? Now look, let me hear me out here. Hear me out.
Oh, please.
Offensively, best in the division, easily,
Mm,
easily,
how?
because they have the one question that all the other teams still have question marks at: quarterback. I
Okay.
will give you the overrated
Okay, yeah.
player. Now I'm saying this because I think Zeke. I'm not going to say returns to elite status, but I don't think he's as bad as last year. I do feel this is the year that the O line can stay healthy. And if that's the case, Zeke will eat. This offense will be a lot more potent than it has been. Um, Defensively, I feel they are better. I'm not saying the secondary all of a sudden becomes elite. I think they were ranked 28, 27 by Pro Football Focus. So if you can bring that down to number
20.
20, 18, that's a major jump. And if look at the front seven, the fact that this defense went from literally 2 years ago from being great, you know, you had two good linebackers and Vander Esch and Jalen Smith. And then all of a sudden they change schemes and they're just bad. To me, it was not the defense, it's the scheme. Whatever Mike McCarthy brought over is not it. They don't need to be running that. They need to go back to what they were doing. And the fact that you have Michael Parsons,
Yeah.
that's why I feel. Now, the team that I feel could prove me wrong and take over is the Giants, but I feel like it depends on Daniel Jones taking that next step. Just with the
Yeah.
turnovers. Don't give me double digit interceptions, double digit fumbles.
Yeah.
And you get the quad king back in Barkley. I feel like they are the major threat, followed by Washington. I feel like Eagles are a lost cause this year. But just kind of two key wins for them. I gave them a win against the Pats in Foxborough. And then also, too, I had them beating the division rival Washington football team in Washington. Two key losses. I feel like they lose to Minnesota and Minneapolis. Obviously, PJ would be happy to hear that. And then, again, it's Kansas City. And it's in Kansas City. So I think you lose there also, two primetime games.
You
So
think?
the only reason
What do you mean you
they
think they lose? Of course
the
they're gonna lose.
no, I
You
mean, I
think
said
Kansas
it.
City's losing a game this year?
It's possible.
I don't. It's possible, but yeah, it's
I mean, they
possible.
lost a
They
game last year.
revamped that O line.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything. The best way to keep Mahomes off the field is to have a running game. Again, if the offensive line of the Cowboys stays healthy, who's to say I'm not about to feed Zeke 30 times?
Does
Hmm.
Zeke want to be fed 30 times?
Can the Kansas City Chiefs defense stop it 30 times? Ask Leonard Fournette. They couldn't. And I don't know if they improved it. And I'll put this in just my last little bit before I move to the Eagles. The Indianapolis Colts 2 years ago, led by Jacoby Brisket, went into there and beat them. Why? Because of a running game, not because of anything else. If you're going to beat them, you have to keep 15 on the sideline. So that's what I have for them. 11-6, winning the division. Obviously, these guys think I'm
This man,
wrong, but
this
I
man
just
said
prove I'm
11
right.
and 6.
Just prove I'm right. It's either 11-6 or 10-7. I mean, again, they had the one non-question mark, as you guys both agreed. Weapons are probably even better too. Just saying.
I give you this, though. I give you this, and I do want to make a correction. I thought they were 4-11 last year. They went 6-10. I just want to clarify my point there. But I can't front. If the Cowboys they stay healthy, they can win the division because they do have the weapons.
Yeah, man.
They just need
They
to execute it. Yeah.
they do have the
Offensively, they
weapons,
could win it.
but there's
Defensively, it's like again, like you mentioned, why isn't all of these secondaries in that division should be feasting because of who everybody has at quarterback? So
Exactly. Yeah.
that's my
and there's
difference.
two defenses in that division that you could probably put in the top 10 in the NFL. That's Washington and the Giants.
Hmm.
The
Which is true.
Giants the
I'm not. Yeah, it's
Giants
true.
had one of the best signings in James Bradbury, who became an elite corner. And then you add a Dory Jackson to the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that front seven isn't something you know, it's okay. Leonard Williams had a really good season, which I'm really happy they brought him back. And they have a couple young guys
But
on there, but
what good is it if your offense is just gonna give it right back?
oh no, I get that. But they also have Kenny Galladay. He's not a slump.
But you have
I think he matches with Cooper.
top 25 quarterback. So moving on to
You
the
know what, Matt?
Philadelphia Eagles fly, led by Jalen Hurts.
1 and
That just
16.
sounds weird. So Jake, go ahead, man. Give us a team weakness for the Eagles going into the season.
Quarterback.
I would agree.
That's the weakness. The quarterback.
Prove us
Jalen
wrong,
Hurts.
Jalen.
We are not in college anymore, right? You're in the pros. Time to put your big boy pants on and act like you're in the NFL. There's none of these college offenses. It's you have to start reading defenses also. It's not just let me just run around in the pocket and not even think about throwing it in the right direction to the right player. I don't see the Eagles doing much. I feel like they're gonna really regress big time. I think it's gonna be a few seasons before they pick it up.
Yeah,
I think the NFC East is between Cowboys, Giants, and Washington.
yeah,
I don't
I
think
would
the
agree there.
Eagles would be in the mix.
And what about a team strength going into the season?
Oh man. Um,
It's got to be a bright spot somewhere. I I think I know where it is, but I want to see what you say.
I think if anything, you're still going D tackle. I feel like that might be like that D line
Yeah, I
might be
give it
your
to the D
best.
line.
But
Brandon
I think that's
Graham,
it.
Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox is still elite.
Yeah,
But that's probably the only bright side because wide receivers are bad.
yeah.
They got Devontae Smith, but then again, this isn't college. Let's see what he can do.
Oh no, Devontae Smith is legit, bro. He knows it's
He's
not
gonna.
college. Player on the hot seat.
Can I just say the roster, or does that not work that way?
Nah, you just got.
It's funny because I'm looking at the roster right now and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, like who are you gonna? I was gonna say Carson Wentz, but he got traded.
Yeah, man. Indeed.
I would say Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I give you that one. That's a
He's
nice
been
one.
there the longest, and he hasn't really progressed much. It's been baby steps.
Yeah,
He showed flashes last season where he could be a really great running back, but then there's games where it's like, well, nope, it's Miles
yeah.
Sanders of old. So I would say him just because he's been there the longest, and we haven't gotten much progression out of him.
Player you're most excited for.
I joked about it, but Devontae Smith. It's
Yeah.
probably gonna be the one bright spot for that team.
And then to end it off, team record for the
So
Philadelphia Eagles.
I joked saying 1-16, but I think they go.
But it might happen though.
I'm gonna go 5-12. I think they go.
That's not bad.
I
4
feel
and
like that's
13.
not 4-3. I think it's gonna be between 4-6 games they win.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I kind of agree there with you. It's not looking too well. I mean, again, Jalen, we hope you come out and prove us all wrong.
Oh, Jalen Hurts comes out and proves us wrong. It's
I
a
mean,
whole different story.
And I'll say this, and it ties into 2 points just to kind of end us off. I'm not saying Jalen was horrible. I mean, he beat the Saints at home. So, and it's like, you can't sit here and say, oh, it's the Saints, blah, blah. To be that your first game, that's kind of a big deal. But there's no tape on you. So, yes, you can kind of catch him by surprise. Doug Peterson, I don't know what the heck you were thinking, pulling the guy. He was playing great. You might have potentially won that game had he continued to play. Even the whole team was, didn't understand it. Nobody understand it. I don't even know if Doug Peterson does. Obviously, he doesn't. He got fired. So I'm rooting for you, Jalen. I've seen you play at Alabama. I've seen you play at Oklahoma. I know the arm strength has kind of been a question. The fact that you're a mobile quarterback and you're just kind of quick to run is also in question. So they didn't also really, besides Devontae Smith, they didn't really supply you with weapons. I think Alshon Jeffrey's still there. Arcega Whiteside's still
Ooh.
there. Jalen Rieger. These guys are all question marks. And they still have Zach Ertz and Goddard. Goddard can be pretty good. He only had the 1 year where he was kind of hurt. So
I think
I think he
Goddard's
can
gonna
be
have
pretty good.
he's
A
gonna have a
breakout
good
year.
season.
Yeah, I like him. But that is where we stand on the NFC East. One more division down on our quest to all divisions being done in the NFL season. Jason will be continuing on with us on the show, but man, we thank you so much for your insight from a true fan.
Welcome.
Obviously,
Welcome.
we could have had Jake break down the Giants, but to continue to have more people on the show, even if they're breaking down our favorite teams, hey, we're all for it, man. We want to have more people on the show, so join us again next week, guys. As we break down the AFC North, we will again have another guest. I'm not going to say his name, but he is a Ravens fan, and he will be breaking down the Ravens for us. So, but we are at a good stopping point to have a little bit of a halftime break and hear a word from our sponsor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Not only is it free, there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And we are back, continuing on our theme of overrated players in the NBA. Now, we let Jason go first last. We're going to kind of reverse order, and I'll start off here. Now, I feel I'm going to say this guy is overrated, and it's still yet to be seen because he is still young. He's only currently 23 right now, and it is nonetheless my guy, Triple B's, Lonzo Ball. Now,
That's
look,
a good pick.
I understand why everyone will be racing to offer him a contract and to get him on their team. The potential is through the roof. It is absolutely through the roof. The size,
Yep.
a 6'6" point guard. He's a good perimeter defender, which you need in today's NBA. And again, the fact that he's 6'6" can arguably guard positions 1 through 3, which is again just huge. But man, when you look at the stats, now granted, he didn't play a lot of these games, kind of got hurt, kind of through the season. Year one, 10.2 points. I'll just kind of start with the points. 10.2 points. Now, I understand Lonzo's not your Curry. He's not your Damian Lillard, where they're kind of going out there and they're going to get theirs. He's kind of old school in a sense. He's kind of a floor general where he wants to feed his teammates first, which is absolutely great. Don't get me wrong. And especially for this year one. So it dipped down a little bit in year two. Now, it did improve a little bit. He's currently, for this season, he improved to 14, about 14 and a half, 14.6 points per game. I was really rooting for him this year because I felt like the Pelicans could be an up and coming team with really good young talent. Brandon Ingram, is coming into his own as a scorer. Obviously Zion, and even the fact of them adding Steven Adams. But to start off, Lonzo was kind of going back and forth with Eric Bledsoe, and it's like, bro, it's Eric Bledsoe. If you can't be out Eric Bledsoe, or if they're questioning whether or not the offense should run through you over Eric Bledsoe,
Yeah,
I don't
that's a
know.
problem.
But again, I get it. He would. I feel like his next stop needs to be the prove it moment. Now, obviously, LeVar Ball has put tremendous pressure on this guy from the moment he was in college, and is still doing so. I mean, I grade it. I mean, I understand it. I love it because of the simple fact it's a dad in his life, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But your number 2 pick in putting up these stats, I'm sorry, man. I got to give you the overrated stamp. Not me personally, Lonzo. Hey, man, if you want to come to Phoenix, be my guest, bro. Be my guest. But yeah, Triple B's in the back. That's my overrated guy. What do you guys' thoughts?
I agree with you. Because the expectation, all the way back from him at Chino Hills in high school, man, like that whole the three brothers, the hype was really out the window. So for him to not perform at that level, and I understand he likes to pass the ball first. He's a passer. Um, I was actually funny. I was just watching um Slam basketball on YouTube, and they were talking to Jello. He's trying to get back into the league, but uh, their father was
Jello,
talking.
Jello, if you're listening, you're not it, bro. I'm sorry, man. Go
Yeah,
ahead, continue.
Yeah, yeah. So I was watching that. So, but their father was, he was mentioning that how, Lonzo, out of the three brothers, is the floor general, is the one that passes the ball. But yeah, I mean, he hasn't, live up to expectation, and hopefully I say is not there yet. Hopefully he gets better. And here's a question I want to ask you guys. How I was reading an article on ESPN, and he's a free agent, and also their dad was saying that if he can get Lonzo to Charlotte to play with Melo, uh, that's the big destination that he wants him to go there. But from your perspective, what do you think that the number that he's going to get per year as far as contract? Like, what's that number? Because there's a number that they said, but I want to hear what like your guess.
Yeah, I think he's obviously I think he's aiming for some sort of a max. And from
Yeah,
what I've heard, because again it's more because of the potential that he can get. Teams will be willing to offer him a max. Now, if I'm going based off stats and production, I can't give you a max.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I want to say
I think
somewhere. Go ahead,
I
Jake.
think he gets between 15 to 22 a year.
Yeah,
And the only
Yeah.
reason why is because there's been players that are worse than Lonzo
they
that
also
have
Hmm.
got paid.
gotten 25, 26 a season.
Yeah. And your prediction is right because that's what ESPN says. Like he's probably going to get at least 20,
Hmm.
Yeah, I would say like a good
20.
4 year, probably about 80, 85 mil
Which I mean, that
sort
still
of
takes him to
deal.
his prime at 27.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
really kind of cash in if you are legit. So,
I will.
yeah, that's what I have. Triple
I
B's,
have a
man.
defense towards Lonzo because Lonzo's my guy. I want Lonzo to New York. If I had that Jay Z money, I would cough up some money to bring him to New York. I think he's hasn't been on a team that believes in him
Yeah.
enough to
Yeah.
say, here's the keys, run the offense. Because I think Lonzo is one of the last few true point guards where
Yeah,
he's has the vision. I'm gonna set you up, but if I need a score, I will score. But he's more of, I'm just gonna set everybody up and I'm gonna play defense. I'm gonna let you guys do what you have to do, which is there's a lot of teams that are lacking that.
Hmm.
But he is improving. His 3 point from when he started was 30%. Now it's 37, almost 38%. So it's
Yeah. He
going up.
changed.
He changed his
Change.
jump shot. His
Yeah.
points per game is up. He was almost at 15 points per game last season from 10 when he started. Again, hasn't had the right team around him, hasn't had the right group, the right coaching. I think he needs to go somewhere where they say, this offense is yours, just play. Don't worry
I
about
would.
anything else. Don't have any
Yeah.
expectations. Just play.
Yeah. I would love him to be in New York because I think that would be a great market for him to be in, and I think there is enough room for him to run that team.
nah, bro.
And
Phoenix.
Tom Thibodeau,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
he makes point guards. Like
Yeah.
the Knicks didn't have a point guard, and we still ended up having a pretty decent team. He threw in a bunch of people at point guard, and it worked. So I
They
think,
got D Rose.
like I said, we had no point guard. No, I love
Wow,
D
that's
Rose.
major
I
shade to
love
D
D Rose,
Rose.
but he's
The
not.
only guy that showed up on your playoff run, you gonna shade the guy.
He's
Dang, that's
not a true
crazy.
point guard.
What?
He
Derrick Rose is not
No,
true?
no, no. He's true. He's true. He's true. He's a true point guard. He
Yeah, I was
he.
gonna say, bro. I don't know.
Nah, he's a
That's
true point guard.
crazy.
His knees are not there anymore. His knees are gone. Like
All
his
right,
knees
so
won't
he's a
hold up.
true
Yeah.
point guard in here, but
Dang.
not in the knees. Gotcha.
Dang, that's wild. D Rose, bro. If you're listening, hey,
Hey,
I
if you're
believe in
listening,
you.
re-sign that 2 year deal. Come
Nah.
back,
Jake
two
don't want you.
year,
You're not a
10
true point
mil.
guard, bro.
Let's
He said you're
go.
not a true point guard, but
Let's get that minimum
uh,
veteran
nah, I
contract.
got Jake don't want you, D Rose. So Jake, who's your overrated player in the NBA?
So I think I'm gonna be like I said this before we did a pre-show. I think I'm gonna be the Skip Bayless for this show. So I'm gonna go with a guy that has 3 rings.
Oh no.
Um, and he's out
Oh,
west.
Oh no.
And I'm gonna go with your boy Draymond Green.
Oh, that's I give you that. Yeah.
I
okay.
think he's overrated.
Yeah.
Now
I give you
everyone
that.
says, "Oh, but if you have Steph Curry, why are you gonna shoot?" You don't always. I'm not saying to take 20 shots a game. I'm not saying to be that guy. But your 3-point percentage has gone down every season since the 2017-2018 season. It went from 30% to 28, then 27, and now 26. So it's going down. And also your points per game. You're averaging 7 points a game. 7 points on a season that Steph needed help. You
Yeah.
couldn't show up and give him extra points. Steph Curry was begging for players to show up, and he puts up 7 points per game this season. Steph had to go into 2K mode in April just to put them in the play-in. I mean, his best season, he had 14 points. And yeah, granted, everyone's like he's a defensive guru. He only had one season where he had 2 steals. Everything else is 1 steal a season. Total rebounds, he hovers 6 to 7. And then assists, I don't know what he's doing getting 8 assists. He's a power forward. Why is your power forward getting you 8 assists? He should be getting you more boards and getting some more points in the paint. I think he's overrated. He wasn't there when they needed him, especially this season and last season that Clay got hurt.
Okay. So I agree, but then I don't agree. If that
That's
makes
fine.
sense. I agree because I do feel like he is overrated, but not in the sense that you are probably like wanting him to be. Draymond was never a scorer.
Hmm.
It is never going to be a scorer. Um, he is a Swiss Army knife. He can defend. His defending isn't going to end up on the stat sheet like Rudy Gobert and so on and so forth. And the reason he averages a lot of assists is because he's the guy top of the key who has the ball while all these screens are being set for Clay and Steph. So that's, and obviously when you're got a jump shot like Steph or Clay, yeah, it's gonna be kind of easy. But I will say again that I do agree in a sense because it's like he has fallen each year, and that's why I do feel he is overrated. I'm not going to expect Draymond ever to come out there and drop me 20,
I,
25. If I
I'm
get
not
it,
even
I'll be blown
asking for
away. But
2025. He's giving you 7, Matt.
that's
He
just not who
averaged
he is, though.
14
The,
one season.
the
Like you're saying he can't even get
I don't know,
putbacks, he
man. I
can't
just
get
feel like
layups, he can't get a mid-range. He's too busy
that's
jacking
six
up
foot. What is he
threes.
like? 6'7", 6'8"? Yeah. Again, I agree. Disagree type. Like I'm there with you, then, but because of just who he is as the player, I mean, I'm not even sure 14 points. I'm not even sure Draymond at his best career average would have still made a difference for the Warriors. Like this team needs the Clay. It's
Yeah,
just set in
yeah.
stone. They
Oh,
just really need
100%.
Clay.
Yeah.
Now I will give you this. I will completely go over to your side of being completely overrated. If Clay comes back and this is still the same Draymond we get, then I'm absolutely there with you. But this is just who we get week in and week out. I feel like his defense, who he is, comes more true together in the
But I
playoffs,
feel like you could get
which
a
is
guy that's less of a high profile name to do the exact same.
I don't know, man. I think he's underrated in the playoffs. Regular season, yeah. In the playoffs, though, because of the experience and they don't have Iggy anymore. He's that guy who he can guard positions 3 through 5, maybe 2, depending on how big the guard is.
So you're
So
saying Draymond was a key piece to them winning their championships.
championships, yes,
So it wasn't
yes.
KD, it wasn't Clay, it wasn't Steph. I think they
Because
still
He's a glue
I
guy.
still think
You
they
need
win
a glue
without
guy.
Draymond. I feel like you can plug a guy that can play solid defense and pass to Steph who makes almost every open
I don't
shot.
know, man. I don't know. But see,
nah,
you're
he
thinking just offensively, defensively. Again, they created small ball. It didn't work. Don't get me wrong, like it works obviously Steph Clay, but it's just easier to guard when you have somebody who can also again, he's not the best 3-point shooter, but he's a threat, but a guy who can guard. Then that's the thing though. In the finals, you're saying that you can grab a guy to go guard LeBron. You can't. That's
That was
just not going to
Iggy.
happen. They switched back and forth though. It wasn't just always Iggy. Iggy was a six man, so it wasn't just always him. Is what I'm saying.
I
So
I
again, I'm there with you, but then I'm not
no,
there
I
with you.
get it. I just feel like I still think the Warriors win their championships pretty easily, like they did without Draymond.
I don't know, man. I mean, I get where you're coming from though.
Like I
But
said, I was gonna take a spicy take. I wasn't gonna go the easy route. I wanted to get some spicy, some
it was
some
kind of
some some,
spicy.
some caliente, some tapatio going on. I was trying to get.
What about you, Jason? Who you got as overrated player in the NBA?
Oh yeah, this is spicy. And
Uh oh.
It's been talked about during the postseason. Everybody can agree to this one. Mr. Ben Simmons.
Oh,
He's at
that's
this point he's not even
hundred
overrated. He's
percent,
just trash at this point.
bro. Go
Yeah.
play for the Sharks in China.
Yeah, at this point it's not even overrated. It's just
Yeah,
It's just
it's I'm looking at the stats, and the crazy stat of the whole postseason. It's not the craziest. It's not the surprising, but his 3 point percentage is a goose egg.
yeah.
settle.
He didn't take one attempt at all, and it's
Sheesh.
crazy because we've seen videos of him in off season playing, pick up ball and he's draining threes, draining, and he's training, he's draining threes. But when it comes to game time, he's not even attempting or nothing. And we saw in the postseason where he was just absent, and that ultimately hurt the Sixers because he's a vital piece for that team, and for him not to be there and not contribute to the team like he did during the season where they won their division. They hurt the team. It hurt the team pretty bad. And, most more than likely he's going to get traded and go somewhere else. And because how Philly is, and especially their fans, those fans are ruthless. You would think New York fans are bad, Philly fans are worse.
And
And
I think
they
that's what
they
the problem is. I think
yeah.
he's damaged goods. It's kind of like Carson Wentz.
Hmm.
In reality, it's just I agree with you. They're brutal, beyond brutal,
Yeah.
extremely brutal. Like I don't even think they compare to anybody else in the United States. They're just extremely brutal.
Oh yeah.
It's still no excuse because it wasn't like he was bad a couple years ago, you know. So yeah, he's definitely still overrated, maybe even beyond overrated. But just like Carson, I feel like it's time for a change of scenery.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now the question is, what do you would he what team picks him up? Would he help that team? Will he get better? That's for us to see in the future if that's actually going
Yeah,
to happen. So yeah.
yeah. There's
So
go ahead,
there were
Jake.
some crazy stats for Ben Simmons. TNT posted them, and I took a screenshot of it, and it's called "Disappearing Act." That's literally what they titled it. So this is the fourth quarter of the semifinals versus Atlanta. So game one, he took 2 attempts in the fourth quarter, and he made two. Game three, he took an attempt, and he made it. Those were the only attempts he took in the 7 games. He took 3 attempts in the fourth quarter
Wow.
of the entire series.
He just
He,
dejected himself.
yeah, he. I think he's. This is bad to say, but I don't think he's gonna really be that great of a player moving forward, especially
Yeah.
if you can't take that mental block away. Because if you're gonna say, "Oh man, the fans are too tough," my God, you're playing a professional sport. No matter where you go, the fans are gonna be tough. Because you come with
Exactly.
the
That's not Philly tough though, bro. Philly's
no, I
Philly's
get
tough,
it.
bro.
it's
Philly's
different,
is
bro.
out there.
It's so
Yeah,
different
it's
in
out there,
Philly,
man.
man. It's
Oh no, anything's better than Philly. But to be the high pick that you were, the everyone's saying, "Oh man, he's gonna be the next superstar." Some people were saying he has the IQ of LeBron. He's a big guy. He's gonna run the entire offense through him. He'll develop his jump shot. And look where we're at. Where
yeah,
there's conversations where Phillies might gonna have to package him with some of their young players just to get rid of him. It's no
Yeah.
longer a, all right, I'll give you Ben Simmons for a guy that's in his 30s that can still contribute. So you can get a young superstar. I can get a star that wants to win now. That's no longer
Hmm.
in the conversation. But you could
Yeah.
probably say a couple years ago when Ben Simmons was at his height, all right, let me trade him for, I'll give you him and a couple picks for Lillard. Back then, Lillard being 28, 29, maybe the team says it if they want to, completely blow it. But now that's not even a conversation. Now it's
Yeah.
like, I need Ben Simmons, I need all your young talent and some picks, and then we can talk. So
Yeah.
I think he's made it hard on even Philly just to move him. No one's
Yeah.
gonna want
I
Yeah.
that.
think there is a market though. I do feel like there's still a market out there. Obviously, nothing's gonna happen right now. I do think he gets moved. Some teams that I kind of feel like could take a chance on him. Um, Golden State. I don't. In all honesty, I really don't see why Golden
But to
State
play
couldn't.
what?
He could thrive there. He could play a point. He could be somewhat of a Draymond type. Just maybe better because he can drive. I mean, the paint's gonna be super wide
I
open
mean, he's gonna drive and then pass
because
it out. He didn't even
everyone's.
take that shot. That was wide open.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's like I get what you mean. It's the NBA. You should be able to take the criticism and blah blah blah. But it is Philly, man. And players have gone on record and have said it. Philly is just different. If you're not
Yeah.
built for it,
Don't go
they
there.
it will eat at you and they will go there with you. So if this was like Milwaukee, Orlando, and then it's like, okay, bro, you're tripping. But it is Philly. Obviously, Embiid is built for the culture there. Obviously, Allen Iverson was built for the culture there.
And
Ben
beats a
Hmm.
Simmons
troll.
just
That's why.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah. That's what works. It works for him. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what we have for our overrated players in the NBA. You guys let us know again. What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Who do you feel is also overrated? Um, let us know down in the comments. But moving on to off topic, last time we spoke, ladies and gentlemen, the Phoenix Suns were up 2-0, and it looked like sweep, gentlemen, sweep. Finals were going to be over, but have no fear, the deer are here, unfortunately, because the series is tied 2-2. Um, the Bucks have went on to win two straight. We are heading into the Valley tomorrow night. Saturday, it's Friday night as we record this, tied 2-2. Um, so right now we're just going to kind of talk about our thoughts on the series so far. Um, I'll go first, just kind of brief. Game three, I had a feeling they were going to win because of the simple fact your backs are against the wall. There's no way you can drop three straight right out the gate. And they've shown even against the Nets, although the Nets were beaten up, that they're known for bounce back. So I gave them game three. Game four, I felt was definitely the Phoenix Suns game to win, especially because Booker got benched in the fourth quarter. Your high scorer was Jay Crowder in game three with 18 points. And if history is on our side, and we have to look to history for the outcome for the next game, Phoenix bounces back after a loss in the playoffs. We saw it against the Clippers, and that's what I thought we were going to do. But obviously, 17 turnovers and 17 offensive rebounds later, game four, we have another story. So it sucks. I was hoping to go up 3-1, get that gentleman sweep, and party in the Valley on Wednesday. I was gonna take a private jet there. I'm pretty close friends with this guy right here. But because of this guy right here and his late game turnover, he had 5 total for game 4. We are tied. I'm not blaming it all on Chris Paul, but you kind of have to because he also didn't score the ball well game 4 either. Um, I know many Suns fans want to blame the refs. The refs screwed us, but you just can't because of the simple fact Devin Booker should have fouled out with like 3 minutes, 4 minutes left. He literally
He tackled.
blatantly tackled Drew Holiday. And the ref said, bro, I'm Ray Charles. I don't see nothing.
He said,
He said, where? So I can't, and Booker, you can't be mad. I know I saw him late in the game. It was, going to the hole and was trying to get a foul, but it's like, again, bro, you should have fouled out. And they even admitted after the game that he should have been, hit with a foul. So I can't say it there, but and it sucks to have wasted a 40 piece from Book. Had a really great game, but he also put himself in bad positions foul wise, and he had to sit majority of the fourth quarter. So I'm going to come out and say I think the team who can win an away game will win the championship. Now, the team that has shown me that they can win an away game the closest is Phoenix. The 17 turnovers, the 17 offensive rebounds are things that the Phoenix Suns did on themselves. Those are things that can be fixed. They are the team that has shown me can obviously fix that. Chris Middleton played like Jordan, but he's also known to be Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know which Chris Middleton I'm going to continue to get. So I'm gonna say Suns in 6. Jason, let me know your thoughts and a prediction on the series going forward.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a sweep because if you look at the scores of the first two games, I mean, let's pull up here. First game, 118 to 105, 118 to 108. So the Suns were definitely putting a gap between this team, and it was like not even close. But the Bucks, have the tendency to show up and come back in a series and tie it up or eventually win it. But I feel like the Suns will pull it out. They were sloppy last game. I'm pretty sure that uh, Chris Paul and the rest of the crew, Devin Booker, Aiden, Aiton, they're gonna clean it up. They're gonna clean it up and definitely show out. Especially at home because they're pretty good at home. They got a great record at home all season. So the fans are gonna be behind them, and it's gonna give them that momentum to to have a better game, be more fluid, not make as much mistakes. And I believe that this series can go. You say 6. I believe the game this can go to 7. This is because of the Bucks, how they keep coming back. They just you think that deer got shot and the deer's down. No, that deer gets back up and he runs right through the forest like nothing happened. So this is the
Unfortunately.
Bucks. Yeah, so this is the Bucks, man. So and Giannis is he's not gonna give up. So yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
gonna go the full length. But I got Suns in 7.
Yeah, that was my initial prediction. Jake, what do you got for us, man? And if you say Suns in 4, I will end this thing right now.
So there's a lot to try to dissect about this. Um, I think you could say the Suns lost this game more than the Bucks won.
I would agree.
And the only reason is with all the turnovers. They had 15 turnovers as a team, and the Bucks only won by 6.
Yeah.
That makes me think that okay, Phoenix lost this game because with all those turnovers, you would think, oh, the Bucks had to win by at least 10, 15. But nope. Even with all those turnovers, the Suns were still in it. Even after that play where Chris Paul lost it, there was still a little glimpse of okay, we can still get this. The one thing that I didn't like from Booker though, I feel like he was playing with too much emotion. He didn't know how to channel it. Like when he gets frustrated, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like it throws him off his game. He gets sloppy.
Yeah.
That's one thing that everyone tries to compare him to like a mini Kobe. Kobe wouldn't do that. When Kobe was mad, he outscored you. He
Yeah.
outperformed you. He got crisper. He got cleaner with his cuts, with his defense. He didn't get sloppy. So that's the one thing that you can say that you can try to stop the conversation there because obviously Booker's still young, he's getting the experience, but he dropped 42. Like he still said, no, I'm going to make sure we try to win this game. I'm going to put it all on Chris Paul. Like Matt said, you only got 10 points. Like knowing that you need to win this game, you need to give me a little bit more. Um, one thing that I do want to say because I know he's listening, the Greek Freak. I've called you overrated before, but your heart in these finals have showed me that you are not overrated, my guy. Um, he's showing it. He's like, listen, I've said it. He's consistently trying to improve. Everyone says, why is this man jacking up 5 threes a game? At least he's doing it. Like he's trying to find it. He's trying to do everything he can to wield
Unlike Ben
this team of
Simmons.
victory. Exactly.
Man.
Like, hey, say what you want, but Greek Freak said, "Listen, no one else is gonna score. I got to try to do something. This ball needs to go into the basket."
Yeah.
So I love what he's doing. I think it's. I don't want to say this, but I think Bucks in 7.
Oh, he has
Hmm.
switched his
Ho,
prediction.
ho, ho, ho.
Bucks in
I
7.
think
Ooh.
I think Bucks in 7, and it's gonna be in the Valley that they win.
Yeah, my last little bit is just a from a size standpoint from the Phoenix Suns. DeAndre Ayton is your size. He's the only person who can, I'm not gonna say stop the Greek Freak, but can at least help contain it a little bit.
And even then, he's
Yeah.
getting embodied.
Yeah, Greek Freak is just a little bit more physical, just a little bit more bigger than he is. Height wise, probably goes Aiden. But if I'm Coach Monty Williams, and Monty, I know you're listening. I've stood on the table for you since we started this podcast. I'm telling DeAndre Ayton. I do agree with. I think it was Jason that said Chris Paul needed to come out, or it might have been Jake. Somebody said that Chris Paul needed to come out and have a big game 5. I do agree. Monty Williams needs to tell DeAndre Ayton, when Giannis sits, you will sit. When he doesn't sit, you will stay on the court because you are the only size we have. Dario Saric towards ACL. Crowder is just too small. You are literally the only guy who can help. So you want to rest when the finals are done. But right now we need you. So hopefully, let's see, game 5's tomorrow, Saturday. Game 6 obviously will still happen. That'll be Tuesday. So if it does go 7, Friday, next time we record. So hopefully we are recording and I am waving my son's towel because we won the championship. And
I
I
mean,
have
I
a
want the
better,
Suns to win,
yeah.
but if Chris Middleton can even play, just not you don't have to drop a 40 piece, but the way you played in the fourth quarter in the last 2 minutes.
I feel like it's only home though, which is why I
Oh
just
no,
can't.
and I get it.
Yeah.
He's either dropping 40 or I'm giving
Or
you
he's like 10 points.
10 points and I'm going to shoot 2 for 32. Like
Yeah.
it's
Him
one or
and
the
Drew
other.
Holiday. Yeah.
So,
Giannis has only been the main, really consistent one, even after coming off a hyperextended knee. So, hey, you guys let us know. What do you feel? Obviously, this podcast will drop on a beautiful Monday morning.
Giannis only had a
Where,
triple double.
yeah, where either the Phoenix
That's
Suns or
crazy.
the Milwaukee Bucks will be up 3-2. So, you guys let us know. Again, hopefully next time this episode comes out, you are seeing a better picture behind me of Chris Paul holding a championship instead of him falling in, turn the ball on. But other off-topic news that we have going Olympics. USA basketball team has been assembled, although we are waiting for Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Devin Booker to finish the finals to join the team. Team USA is not looking too hot, gentlemen. They've dropped 2 games out of the 3 they've played in the exhibition, lost to Nigeria. Look, I don't mean don't get on me for it, but it's like you're obviously a lot better in basketball. You would think. I don't even know who Nigeria had on the team, and then
Yeah,
you
Bam
lost.
from the Heat.
Yeah, I saw Bam took a picture with a couple guys who were from the Heat, so I don't know who they are.
Stephen A knows.
Yeah, he knows. And then he lost to Australia, who I know a couple guys there. Obviously, Joe Ingles, Patty Mills, Matisse Thybulle. Um, he did beat, I believe it was Argentina, how somehow Luis Scola is 41, still playing basketball. Hey,
He only plays for the Olympics.
yeah,
He's
hey,
chills for
power to
three
Yeah.
you,
years
bro.
and then
Yeah,
Yo,
comes
power
he's
to
back.
you.
jacked.
Shoot,
He's
he is.
jacked
Yo,
too, man.
He is
yes.
super
He's
jacked.
jacked.
I don't know if you're
Yeah.
gonna survive if you come back to the league, but hey, bro, you're doing your thing. But with the news of them dropping 2 games in the 3 exhibition matches. Excuse me. And Bradley Beal now out. Health protocols. Sounds like he's got COVID. Kevin Love, who, in all honesty, I didn't even know why he was on the team. Maybe because he's a veteran, they needed it, and he's been there before. Also out, Jeremy Grant in health protocols, but he has not been ruled out to play. He just won't be playing when they arrive. Is there a cause for concern for this USA basketball team going forward?
Yes, yes. I say yes because um, one, I think is that the number one reason is the prolonged NBA season. The season's been pretty long, so a lot of players are still trying to they're trying to recover from that. They're trying to get that out of their heads to get prepared for the Olympics. That's one reason. Second reason, we don't have a big. Well, the USA doesn't have a big man. Like if
Yeah,
you think about it, there's no big
Kevin
man
Durant
that's
is a
playing.
big man.
Yeah, Kevin Durant, he's injured.
Yeah,
I know they just got. I know JaVale McGee is gonna join the team.
yeah,
That's gonna be a big man, but all the big mans in the NBA are foreign players.
yeah,
You
and they're
know,
all
so
on their
yeah,
different teams. So
exactly. So I think that's the two for me. That's the two reasons where maybe cause of concern. Like these players are fatigued from the season, and then there's not a true big playing for them because they're getting because I was watching Undisputed with Shannon and Skip, and they mentioned that the game against Nigeria, they were getting out rebound. They
yeah,
were getting out rebounded against
yeah,
Nigeria. They're
it
getting
was
out
bad.
rebound by Australia.
Out, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I rebounded. I hustled. It was kind of like they
Yeah.
just showed him, say, "Oh yeah, we're Team USA. What we're gonna do. We're gonna go, go,
Exactly.
go." And it's like, nah, bro. It's granted, yeah, it's an exhibition match, but even if you had won all three by like 4, hey, it's still a win. But the fact that you lost again,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Nigeria. I don't know who they got, bro.
Yeah.
Wasn't
But you
J
know what?
Cole over there or something playing basketball?
Yeah. J Cole's over there. Yeah.
J Cole
J
over
Cole's
there.
probably
J
he was probably
Cole,
on the team.
yeah, he's probably on the team. Recording the album. By the way, we're big fans of the album. But
Yeah. Same here. Same here.
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Jake, you got anything to add to it? Or are we just moving on? You let me know.
I just I don't think a lot of these players should have even played. I mean, the NBA
Mm,
barely had an off season,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
jump right into the Olympics. Fatigue is, as an organization, I would probably hold a lot of these players back. Like I would have told Kevin Durant, "Excuse you, you want to go play where?" Like
and
because
yeah,
like
but I think it's there. I don't think the
no,
organizations
I
get to
I know
choose,
you can't because
unfortunately. Yeah,
it's the Olympics. You're playing for your country. But I think you guys hit all the points. I don't. They need Mello. That's all I can say.
You know what? I actually, it was funny you said that because in a tweet, somebody's like, "What can help the USA team?" I was like, "Melo's not there. He needs to be there.
Yeah,
You need
Mello.
Olympic. You need
you need,
Melo.
yeah, you need somebody who's won it. Even I mean, I can't say James Harden. You just need somebody who's at least won so that they can help you. Which is why I get Kevin Love was there because he did
But I
play
think
on that
Kevin Love
team.
was more there just to show teams that he can still play. It was more of a
Yeah,
tryout than anything else.
Yeah,
that. But again, like everybody else who was on that Olympic team, LeBron, obviously he's
yeah.
not playing. He's
He's
getting
out
make
here.
sure he's right, and he's also playing for the Toon Squad. And Anthony
Yeah.
Davis still hurt. Um, and a lot of those guys also retired. CP3 is playing now. Kobe unfortunately passed away, so it's like Jason Kidd is a coach. I think Tyson Chandler was also on the team,
Mm-hmm.
and he's retired. So Kevin
Wade.
Love was really just Dwayne Wade. Kevin Love was
Dwight
literally
Howard
your
was the big man, but he was incredible at that time when he
yeah.
was
And
playing.
right now
Yeah.
he's nowhere near that. So I get it. Kevin Love was just kind of there along the right. I don't think he was going to play that much, to be real with you. Um,
This man
but
needs
yeah,
new calves. He stay hurt with the
um,
calf.
our
Mm-hmm.
last little bit of off-topic news: Dame Dollar. It was rumored that Dame was going to come out today on Friday the 16th and request a trade, but he came out and did not do such. So, my question for you guys is how long until Dame requests a trade?
till
When
the
does the
last
season
month.
start?
I want to say they're aiming for a regular start of
So you're
October,
saying October. So
sometime
I
October or in October. Yeah,
I
September.
think yeah, September. I think he's just playing it smart. He's not gonna act like the bad guy. He's gonna say what we want to hear. I'm not
yeah.
requesting a trade. I'm not doing this. He's not gonna play the bad guy role. He's not gonna do the James Harden where he comes in 60 pounds overweight and then gets traded and he's like, oh snap, you lost 60 pounds. How'd that happen?
Yeah,
Like I don't think he's gonna try playing everything safe, do the right thing. Um, but
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna be with the Trailblazers starting next season.
yeah, me either.
yeah. It's sad because guys like Dame, who he was never a fan of the super teams. The trash talk between him and Paul George. When he mentioned that you're running from the process and blah blah blah. But Dame sees it. I mean, he is starting the age is starting to creep up. Not that it kind of means as much in basketball like it does in football, but he does want a championship. He has given his all to Portland. They unfortunately just kind of haven't given it back as far as kind of looking for the right players, getting the right players. I get it. I'm sure they've offered the right contracts, but at the end of the day, players want to go to the big markets. I don't think Portland is that.
If Portland wants to keep Dame, this is what they do. They call up Minnesota. What's your price for Cat?
Yeah, they would have to get a young superstar big man to come and play with them.
Yeah. What's your price for Cat? Okay, we want this and that. As long as you're keeping CJ and Dame, give them what they want and get Cat.
Yeah,
Ben
I think
Simmons.
that's your saver. I did see a Ben Simmons package. I'm not sure necessarily how it could work, but I think it could kind of be their own version of the
If Ben
Splash
Simmons goes
Bros.
there, you know Dame Lillard is gonna send a text right to the owner, bro, trade me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so my predictions are I think he lasts until I think it's kind of like that of Anthony Davis. I think
I think
he
he's gonna wait till
requests
free
it.
agency.
Yeah, I think he requests it during the season by like All-Star break, but he doesn't actually get traded until next year around this time, kind of like
So try
Anthony
to do
Davis
one
did.
more run.
Yeah. I mean they signed Chauncey Billups as the head coach. I don't quite know if Chauncey Billups is legit. I mean, I know he was Clippers assistant, but it's kind of hard to judge an assistant in the
Hmm.
NBA compared to the NFL because you don't know how much they're really controlling. So we'll see if Chauncey Billups is coming out and showing that his game of being Mr. Big Shot also translates to being Mr. Big Shot coach. Hey, Dame may want to stay forever, but hey, I know he wants that ring. Dame, we know you want that ring. It's so. But that will conclude our show, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we thank you guys so much for listening. Moving on into our hype. Before we get into our hype individually again, as we do each and every week, we reach out to you, the regulars, to see what you're hyped for. And our folks over there at Kanaya Rose said that they were hyped for new products for their business coming soon. Again, Kanaya Rose,
Nice,
she is my
nice.
sister-in-law. I have a little bit inside trade, so I know what's going on. You guys gotta wait, unfortunately. But I will promise you this: you will not be dissatisfied. But moving on to us, Jason, we'll let you go first. What is something you're hyped for, man, going forward?
What am I hype about going forward? Actually, I'm hype about the Olympics, man. I love the Olympics. Every 4 years, I I watch every day. Like the Olympics is just fun to watch. Every sport, sports that we don't see on a regular, we get to see them display on the world stage. So I love the Olympics. So I'm looking forward to that, especially track and field. I actually like swimming a lot. Swimming is amazing, man, because I can't really swim, but just to see,
Yeah,
people have the ability to like, be dolphins in the water is crazy.
yeah,
So that's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
I got you. Jake, what about you, man? What is something you're hyped for?
So I have to wait till I actually have it physically with me. But your boy made a purchase. So I'm going to be picking it up this weekend. So I'm super hype about it. Um, I will say it is in the gaming world.
Okay.
And then I will show
Oh,
you
I already
guys
know.
next week. Matt probably knows because he knows
Yeah,
I've
I
been
already
trying
know.
to get one. But I
All
want
right,
to
now.
have it in my possession before
Yeah,
I show the public.
I feel you on
But
that. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
so
I think I
Yes,
have.
I
I
am.
think I
No,
have
I'm
an.
playing.
I think I have an idea of what it is because
Yeah,
it's something that's very hard to get.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
just
Yeah.
leave it at
Yeah.
that. Something that I'm hyped for. I am hyped for the fact that hopefully it doesn't rain tomorrow. That I get to play around the disc golf. It's been way too long. That itch to play has come, and I've always tried to play, and just stuff has kind of come up. So
Mhm.
hopefully, Florida, if you could just not rain for a good 3 hours.
Jason, you got to try that sport. Hit
Yeah,
us
What's
up.
the
man.
We got to
sport?
get you out there. Disc
Disc
golf.
golf. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'm down, man. I'm down.
yeah, yeah. We'll definitely
Yeah.
have to link up and have you try
Yeah.
it. But yeah, man, I'm hyped to play it. We have Jake knows we have our I guess you can call it annual friends doubles little tournament that we play once a year coming up in a couple weeks. So got to start to get back playing regularly. It's at least 2 weeks, 2 times a week. So that's something I'm hyped for. Again, regulars, we thank you guys so much for joining us on this beautiful Monday morning, wherever you're listening to. If you're joining us from YouTube, seeing our beautiful faces, listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it may be, we appreciate you. We thank you guys so much for joining us each and every week, the support. Um, Again, we're trying to continue to build this. We know it's a slow grind, but hey, we're here for the ride. And we thank guys like Jason, also a regular, for joining us
Thank you.
once again. This won't be the last time Jason's here. Obviously,
Mm.
Jason will continue to be an ongoing guest for us each and every time, but we appreciate him for coming on, dropping his Giants knowledge breakdown as we what our appetites for the season. Jason, you got any last words for the people?
Yeah. I want to appreciate you guys for having me back on. You guys are like family, and I look forward to being on a regular podcast and talking to the fans and just discussing sports with you guys in the future.
Yeah, man, we definitely appreciate you. Jake, hit us with some closing words and end.
First, thank you, Jason, for being on here. We appreciate
Mm,
it. We've all been close, just real good friends. So we love when you're on.
thank
Matt
you.
always asks me, "Hey, you go with Jason?" I'm like, I don't know why we're asking, but yes, just bring him on. So thank you for being here and thank you for taking
Welcome.
care of my Giants. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, bro.
And to all you guys in the regulars, like we say every week, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the support. Keep sending us, constructive criticism, whether you know me, Matt, PJ personally. If you want to just send us messages, but always DM us, just say, hey, I really like this, or can you guys talk about this? Educate us too. We had people on here educating us about hockey, educate us on different sports, different topics. Just tell us, and we'll go ahead. We're not going to talk about something that we don't know. We want to come on here with the facts. So if you want to come up, tell us, educate us, we'll go ahead. We'll make some space for you. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And Suns in 4. Peace.
Regular Guys Podcast.